Hello, my name is Chris, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can save up to 15 hours a week or more while still being able to work on your health and fitness goals. Now, who's this video for? This video is for someone still working that 40, 50, 60 hour a week full-time job. Maybe they have a family to take care of, or just someone that has a ton of responsibilities in general that feel like they don't have enough time to be able to work on their health and fitness, okay? Now, who am I and why am I qualified? My name is Chris. Obviously, I just said that. But I too, at one point, was going to university and still working one or two jobs and clocking in 40, 50, 60 hours a week between university, homework, and also jobs that allowed me to live and put food on the table and afford an apartment to live in. Now, even more relatable, I run my own business as well as do other ventures that take up 20, 30 hours a week in part-time work, And every entrepreneur knows as well that running their own business, there's really no clock out time. Okay, so I am extremely busy and still able to go to the gym and have an insanely good workout routine, as well as able to eat food that I like, that I cook myself so I can save money and attribute towards gaining muscle, high protein, delicious meals. So I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Okay, so we're going to go and dive into 4 aspects of your life that we can optimize. Okay, now the freebie tip is that put this video on 1.5x speed. You're already going to save 50% of your time watching this video once you do that. So go into the settings, put it on 1.5. Some of you might be able to do 2x speed, but I do talk kind of fast. So the first thing you can do, and also stay to the end, I'm going to show you how you can do all of these things in one step that will outweigh all of these steps together. Okay, but that's for the end, because there is an investment within that step, okay? So starting out right here at the calendar, we're gonna go into strategy 1, okay? We're gonna dive into 4 categories that we can optimize, starting with the calendar. Category 1 is schedule everything, okay? So guys, you need to be utilizing a calendar. I don't care if you work at McDonald's, I don't care if you're a substitute teacher, I don't care if you just do little odd jobs here and there. Schedule everything in your calendar, okay? Things from meetings to when you go to the dentist to whenever. I even schedule when I go to sleep, okay? Do I always follow that schedule? No, but at least I have a clear cutoff time of if I'm cranking out work late, I'm like, okay, if I want to wake up on time tomorrow, I'm going to go to sleep right then, right? It just helps you visualize everything that you need to on a calendar, okay? We need to stop wasting our mental energy trying to remember everything that we need to do. This will save you so much mental angst, and it will actually give you relief. It will help you lower your stress, which can contribute to a healthier lifestyle. Okay, so you won't have to stress as much trying to remember what you have to do. You can just put everything on a calendar. The main reasons people don't put things on a calendar is because they think they're not busy enough, or they think that they are not important enough. Okay, calendars aren't just for CEOs. Okay. So put everything on a calendar, okay? And then from there, you can find the pocket, okay? So let's just take, this is just a random example calendar. If you have to do this at 4:30, ends at 5:30, and then you have something at 7, you can now see a very clear pocket right here, okay, of time. You can make time to either go on a walk, do an at-home workout, cook something, okay? You now have a pocket. This will allow you to find those pockets of time that you say that you don't have after you can visualize everything on a calendar. From there, this is actually an advanced step, but you can use these AI tools, okay? Google Calendar actually has their own built-in AI tools now that you can use in order to help proactively manage everything on your weekly calendar. Something like Motion.ai as well can help you find those pockets of free time that you think you don't have throughout the week. Now, full transparency, I've never used these, but I actually am looking into it heavily. I know people that have, and they say it's amazing. Okay, so I highly suggest doing something like that. Now, moving on to recreational activities. Okay, strategy 1, multitask. So I just put a picture of laundry here just for an example, because for me, something that I could do and do usually to be able to multitask is I fold laundry and cook rice at the same time. I know it sounds simple, it sounds kind of stupid, but you'd be surprised how much you can overlap certain tasks that you can do in your own household or wherever you're living. Okay, rice, obviously super easy and basic to meal prep, And then folding laundry is something I have to do anyway, right? Because if I don't have any clothes ready for the week, I can't get dressed. And now you're stressing about that, So these are a list of things that you could do very easily and simply around your house that you could multitask at the same time, being as efficient as possible. Strategy 2, intentional media consumption. Guys, I'm at the point where I actually think that doom scrolling is like a literal disease. It is so bad for you. I've been stuck there. Most people have been stuck there for hours staring at your phone. I couldn't think of a worse way to live life. There's no one that's going to die and say, oh, I regret not scrolling for that hour. Okay, so here's some things that you can do instead. I like to utilize, for the most part, my consumption on media for being able to learn or just learn something new. All right. And so most things on social media now are things that I think are very high value. Maybe it's an Alex Hormozi podcast. How do I incorporate this into, using media as intentional consumption? Well, I might go and stretch and watch a podcast. I talk to my family every day, for an example. And let's just say I usually do something like this: walk outside. So I'm getting my 10,000 steps in, getting some sun rays, and also talking to my family. I'm doing 3 things at once that I normally want to do. Okay. So I'm walking, on a call, or you can do a business call. You can meal prep and listen. This is something that I used to do. I used to cook, and I used to self-teach myself Greek. So I'd put on an app, and it was 30 minutes of 100% verbal Greek training. So I used to cook as well as put this app on and just practice conversing in Greek so I could teach myself another language. Okay. And that was probably one of the best things I ever did, because when I went to Greece, I was able to converse. I was able to talk to some of my family. It was great. Now, moving on to the third one in recreational, order of operations. Now, what does this mean? So over here, we have this list. All right. And so basically what happens, let's just say you want to organize things in what are the most priority. Okay. If you have to give your brother a call, for example, let's just say you try calling him, doesn't pick up. He's like, hey, can we talk later? Okay. You now have that hour that you blocked out to talk to your brother, or 30 minutes or whatever. But now you have that open all of a sudden. So you're not just going to fuck off with that extra time that you have. You're going to go and look at the other things that you have to do, so you can take that block that was once taken and now free, and you can put something else that you were going to do anyway and just fill in the gap. So by the end of the day, you actually have more free time. You'll be able to get more things done. Okay. So one of them, let's just say you have to look over a resume. Can't take that long, right? Fill that in the gap. Okay. So you always want to have an extra to-do list on the right of your schedule, so that these are small extra tasks that you'll be able to do, that you need to get done, that you can interchange with something that might fall through. Okay. That's not always going to happen though. Things aren't always going to fall through. Hopefully they don't, so you can stay on schedule. Okay. So next, going to nutrition. Strategy 1, I'm going to move myself up here. All right. Strategy 1, track. But everyone online, track your macros. But no one's actually telling you what the numbers need to be, how to get that number you're supposed to track. This is just such a cheap way that online influencers, I think, try to give advice. They just say, track your macros. Well, how do you track your macros? I'm going to tell you, for someone that has never done it before, okay? The ultimate free way is you're going to go to calculator.net, and it's a BMR calculator. A BMR stands for basic metabolic rate. This is the amount of calories that you burn automatically throughout the day if you were to at rest. Okay, so if you were to sit in bed all day and not do anything, this is how many calories you'd burn. I put in my stats roughly right here, and it said I would roughly burn 1935 calories a day. Now, this is more accurate at the beginning of your journey because I have a lot more muscle on me than the regular person, so I probably actually burn a little bit more. Next, after you hit calculate, it's going to give you that number. Then you're going to line it up to whatever amount of activity level you are at, okay? So let's just say that you have a fully sedentary job, you burn you don't do anything extra. It's going to estimate that you burn 2,300 calories a day. What you can do from there is have that as a goal. And if you want to track everything for free, basically go into your notes app of your phone and write at the top what the date is, your goal, and then just track everything manually that you eat throughout the day. Look up how much is in half a pound of chicken or whatever. Now, That's a great free way to do it. But another way I suggest really doing it is by using an app similar to this. This is called Avatar Nutrition, not sponsored. But this is really my favorite app to use when I'm tracking macros because it just has so many tools. All right. And so basically, Avatar is going to run that BMR equation through you based on the stats that you enter already. And it's going to give you the macros you need to hit anyway. Now, tools like this give you an in-app barcode scanner. And this is so useful because you can literally, as the picture says, or is demonstrating, you can scan barcodes and it automatically puts the macros of that thing into your macro log. Do you know how easy that is? You can't lose. You have a quest bar, boom, scan the back of it. Now, I will say this doesn't work with locally sourced things. So if you go to the deli counter at your local grocery store and you get like half a pound of turkey and you scan the barcode on that, it's not going to work. But on most things, it will work. Now, Avatar Nutrition is not free, but they do have a free trial. There's no affiliate code. So like I said, it's not sponsored. But not only that, an app that's only $10 a month is also going to give you 300 high protein recipes that you can do and follow along with. That fits your macro plan. Okay. So you can see how a $10 a month investment, that's literally one order at Starbucks for most people, is very worth it in terms of getting your health right. Okay. So strategy 2, kitchen tools. These are the kitchen tools that are going to save you so much time over the course of the week in terms of meal prep. These are 2 of my favorite tools, which are the crock pot and the Instant Pot. I live and die by these 2 things in the kitchen. Why? Because it's passive cooking, all right? Kind of like passive income, it's fucking passive cooking, all right? So what do I mean by that? Instead of hovering over the stovetop for an hour or more and having to direct 100% of your attention towards the cooking, don't get me wrong, I like chefing it up on a good steak every now and then. However, if I'm trying to make meals in bulk and meal prep for the week, I'm going to be using one of these tools. For the Instant Pot, I can literally just put chicken and rice in there, squeeze a lemon over it, put on 15 minutes, and then after it's done, have a ready meal right there. I can put in an extra and then pack up the remaining as a meal for later. Or in the crock pot, more for your bulk meals, I can put 2 to 3 pounds of chicken breast in here. And then after it's done with all the marination and everything, then I can mix in with whatever rice I cooked in, divvy it out into these containers. I have a bunch of videos on my Instagram showing healthy recipes that you can do in the crock pot. Chicken pasta Alfredo with high protein pasta. I have chicken teriyaki and rice with yum yum sauce. It's literally amazing. And I have plenty more recipes that I've done with the crock pot that you can go check out. But these tools are very good investments that you can make to save you hours a week meal prepping. Okay. Strategy 3 in nutrition, online groceries. Insane game changer. I've always heard of this for the last 5 years or so, but I'm going to tell you why I hesitated using it. Because I was always worried that whatever fruit the people would pick for me, it was just going to be garbage. Any vegetable or fruit they're going to pick for me, garbage. 100% wrong. I tried it one time just for the hell of it, and now I've never gone backwards. Okay, this saves me hours a week because you drive there, you shop, you get distracted, especially if you go hungry. If you grocery shop hungry, that's a death wish. Okay, I pick everything out online, right? I can be doing something on this monitor and on this monitor. I'm shopping. Other thing that saves an insane amount of time, they literally have what you picked last time. So you can just hit order again on everything. If you're that consistent of a human, just pick reorder from last time. Boom. Delivers right to your address. This is not my address. And also, in terms of how they pick fruit and vegetables, you can literally choose the amount of ripeness, for example, on bananas. If you like brown bananas, green bananas, yellow bananas, there's an option for you to customize how to choose that. Now, in Austin, Texas, there's H-E-B, the best supermarket in the world. So H-E-B's quality of service is absolutely top tier. I don't know what Publix or any other kind of market is in terms of curbside pickup, but I suggest trying curbside pickup. Highly recommend. Okay. So last but not least, the workout section of your life. This is why you're here. Okay. To learn how to work out extremely efficiently. Okay. So strategy 1, you need to plan. Bro, if you are walking into the gym, not knowing what to do, you've already messed up. Okay? So I don't care if you just walk in and you have a plan that you just put together in 10 minutes. It's better than walking in and being like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Dude, screw your head on right. Okay? Strong. This is an app that's 100% free. You can pay for premium features, but this app, what you can get in it is the ability to track all of your workouts. If you're not tracking, you're slacking. Okay? No more going into the gym, doing the same thing every day with the same amount of weight and not seeing any progress. This is how you're going to keep your own self and your own workouts efficient as fuck. Why? Because you can track the weight, all right? So let's just say right here, you did 50 kilograms for 8 reps. Last time, now you're going to do 50 kilograms for 10 reps, okay? Also, it can have you put templates in. So let's just say you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Boom. No more disorganization or not remembering what kind of workout that you did last week and what you're doing this week, okay? It'll tell you how many days ago you hit that workout. So you can say, oh my God, it's been 10 days since I did legs. I think I'm going to start to do legs, all right? Very useful, strong app. I recommend getting it. Strategy 2, superset and compound movements, okay? Highly slept on because everyone just thinks it's CrossFit, but it's really not, okay? I'm going to give you an example of what a efficient superset is, and I'm also going to give you a little mini workout right here that you can do in one day, all right? So how do you hit supersets efficiently? So if you're doing a superset with the same muscle group, we'll take chest for an example, you're going to want to pair a compound movement with an isolation movement. If you're doing a superset with opposite muscle groups, you can do 2 compound movements, okay? Now, I'll give you an example. Compound movement, bench press for your chest. You're going to go from bench, no rest, and you're going to go into chest flies. It's an isolation movement, okay? After that, this is the superset aspect that you take no rest, and then you take a break after the second exercise, all right? If you want to do superset and compound movements, you can do overhead shoulder press, no rest, barbell bicep curls. Then you break, okay? Here's a little mini workout that you can do in 20 or 30 minutes in a day. If you want to do bench press, superset with this, and then shoulder press, it's a nice little upper body day, all right? So you can take that. It's free sauce, all right? Lastly, timed rest. Guys, do you know how many times I see people in the gym take 4, 5 to 10 minutes on their phone resting in between sets? That's how you can tell how these people have nothing to do, all right? But if you're a busy person and you have shit to do, places to be, you're going to need to be timing your rests. But how much time do you take that's the right amount of time for you? Well, here's a graph showing how intense the previous set that you just did was, and it correlates what amount of rest that you actually need to take. So let's just say you have a high intensity workout, 75 to 90% of your 1 rep max. Okay, what does that mean in layman's terms? If you can bench press 100 pounds max for 1 rep, 75% of that is 75 pounds, 90% is 90 pounds, okay? So that is considered high intensity if you're doing that kind of percent of your 1 rep max. As you can see right here, you need at least 120 seconds, even 2 to 3 minutes to rest from a high intensity exercise just like that, all right? So if you have moderate intensity, you need less rest time in between sets. Also, fun little thing you can try here. Use a stopwatch instead of the stopwatch on your phone. Why? Because if you see a notification come through on your phone, you're just going to go right to that. You're going to go to Instagram, whatever. If you bring a real stopwatch with you, it could help. Not mandatory, but it's just an idea. That is a full guide on how you can optimize your lifestyle on all these 4 aspects that you need in order to work your full-time job and work your busy life and manage all of that while also prioritizing your health and wellness, okay? But I'm going to share with you that one thing that I told you at the beginning of the video that you can do to actually hit all of these aspects in the easiest way possible. But there is an investment, okay? So basically, that is hiring an accountability coach or just an online trainer. That's something that I do. I will actually, all my clients, I go into the nitty-gritty of their calendar. I build out their calendar for them and find those pockets that we talked about right here. Then we can talk about we talk about personal things. This is personal one-on-one coaching. All right. So we end up talking about these strategies that we can implement for them personally. This is not general advice, just like this video. It's just personalized advice for the person I'm talking to. All right. I come out with their meal plan. I come out with their macros. I give them the free macro tracker and barcode scanner. Okay. My nutritionist can order the groceries for them if they need to. I give them the workout plan so that there's no guess. I make sure that it's efficient for them and it's also working towards their goals. So if you are interested in doing something like that, leave a comment on this video, but also I'm going to leave a link below in the description so that you can go to my Instagram, or you can also book a free call. Okay. So if you want to learn more about how to save time in your busy life, while also prioritizing your health and wellness, please subscribe, and I appreciate it.